I spoke to her. I told her I wanted to end the engagement and move on with our lives. She wasn't happy. She said she loved me, and this is what she was worried about from our first date. She said she doesn't want things to end. Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, I'm going to be doing part 2, or an update to the video I did a few days ago, which was titled, Polyamorous Fiancée About to Get Dumped as Her Lovers Get More Action and Respect Than Her Man. And guys, that story is about the guy who very foolishly got involved with a woman who was claimed to be polyamorous, like it's an orientation, not a lifestyle choice. And got involved with her, was together with her for years, and guess what? She had 4 different lovers, as so she claimed. She treated them like gold, both outside the bedroom and inside the bedroom, while she treated him as, well, he got the bare minimum, put it that way. And after a while of this and humiliation, he's finally kicking her to the curb. But as you all recall from the previous story, this guy definitely is a weak guy, a blue pill guy. He's strong enough to realize he has to kick her to the curb, which is good, but this guy needs a lot of help, a lot of work. And now here we are into part 2, where you're going to see how things continue on with her, him cutting things off with her, questioning himself, all that. At the end of the day, guys, this is why I do what I do, to share these stories so that young guys out there, or any guy, doesn't make the mistake of getting involved with someone that treats him like this. You got to have self-respect. And if you don't respect yourself, people are going to take advantage of you. And for you guys who do dating relationships, women do not respect weakness, okay? And if you act like a pushover and they can have their way with you, there are some that will deliberately hurt you on purpose because they feel like they're just disgusted by your weak behavior. And you cannot allow, for a second, get involved with a gal that wants to do an open relationship, open marriage, polyamorous lifestyle. It doesn't work. You cannot have one guy who's not into that and the other one that is. But so many guys go for this because they're fearful of losing that girl because they think they're shit. They think they can't do any better. And they allow all these awful things to happen to them. Girl brings this up. You got to cut her loose like that. No ifs, ands, or buts. But here's part 2. And again, you're going to see this whole dynamic and how she's able to manipulate him and all the BS and how this thing, at least part 2, ends. So it continues on. He says here, firstly, thank you to everyone who reached out. I did not expect the post to explode like this. Well, anytime you put polyamorous in the title, people are going to read it. I want to keep the update brief, but I don't know if it will be. I'm not the best place right now. I'll try and respond to everyone who messages me privately. I received a lot of advice from many people. Most was to leave her. Some people gave me different perspectives. Had some poly community members message me their insights too. Thank you. Yeah, I can imagine what the poly people say. They're probably saying, how dare you? Go along with her. And by the way, in the previous episode, her friends were getting on his case. And these are all friends that, surprise, surprise, engage in the open relationship poly lifestyle. So, of course, they're going to be on her side. And the fact that she's their friend. I spoke to her. I told her I wanted to end the engagement and move on with our lives. She wasn't happy. She said that she loved me and said that she was worried about from our first date. So she says she doesn't want things to end. Well, why would she? She's got her guy that can be there for emotional support to come home to and to also take care of bills, either most of the bills or some of the bills. Meanwhile, she can go out and play. It's a perfect cake and eat it too situation. I told her I need more in the relationship. I needed what she gave her other partners. I told her if I'm going to be your husband, your main partner in life, I told her I wasn't comfortable with what she did with them around me. I told her she's not supposed to do what she does in front of me. Yeah, how about also what she does when you're not there? Which I guarantee he has no idea the extent of what goes on when he's not there. But also, if you recall, guys, from the first story, I forgot to mention this in the intro, they would have gatherings and these dudes would show up. And she would then fondle them right in front of him, completely disrespecting him. And also, he wasn't allowed to hook up with other girls. And another girl even give him any attention, would just smile at him, and she'd be all over him. So she was allowed to hook up with as many dudes as she wanted and behave in whatever manner she wanted, but he couldn't. He couldn't have a girl look at him, let alone even smile at him, or she was freaking out and threatening him, right? She's just an a-hole, and she likes to treat him like crap. I told her I'd taken the advice and spoken to some people regarding it, and that maybe being in a mono-poly relationship was never meant to be. You think? She told me she just wants to spend her life with me, she wants to have children with me, and grow old with me. This is the last person that any guy should ever be with. And by the way, she's at an age, I believe around 30, 31 I think, that clock's ticking. She knows the biological clock's ticking. She's got a rope in her guy. For the first time in 3 years together, I asked her if she's saying she is going monogamous. She said no, she wants to stay poly. See? Cake and eat it too. This doesn't communicate her deep love to him, in my opinion. She said that her other relationships mean too much to her. She said she won't open up with me physically in public or the things we do in bed until she's more comfortable with me. You've been together for 3 years. You're engaged to be married. And you love him so much. And you're not comfortable having physical contact, like holding hands or hugging in public, let alone freaky bedroom stuff because you're not comfortable with him. How much time do you need, lady? There are gals that on the first date will be doing stuff I can't begin to mention on this channel, so I don't want to hear about comfort. She is completely gaslighting him, completely full of crap. She said she's known her partners for a decade, and so she's comfortable with them. I told her we're getting married. How much closer to me do you need to get? Exactly. I asked her why she said yes when I proposed if she didn't feel as close to me as with her other partners. She just said that it's because she loved me and wanted to spend her life with me. I told her it doesn't make sense. I told her I can't do it anymore and I won't change her, but I won't keep doing this to myself. Well, good for him for standing up for himself. This is obviously uncharted waters for him. There was a lot of back and forth, a lot of I love you and I want to be with you on both ends, but hang-ups on both ends as well. We never really yelled or screamed, but we were both angry and upset and hurt. Well, this guy certainly has a right to yell and scream. But then again, he'd be giving her drama, which the gals always want. He should have just ended it with her and moved on. Now, I can't recall if they're living together. I think they are, which makes things more complicated. Ultimately, we decided to postpone the wedding while figuring things out. The engagement hasn't ended yet. Smack! Why not? Come on, dude. Get your shit together. And talk to people in your personal life, not just online, who truly have your back and they aren't going to side with her. Says, I've moved in with a relative not far from our place right now. I think it's over. I told myself it is. Okay, if you say it's over, then officially break up. I just feel tortured and hurt. It's been a few days and she tries to call me once every day. If she really cared, she would be bombarding you with calls and texts and messages. I've only picked up a few times. She keeps saying she loves me and we'll sort it out. So on her terms, of course. I had some of her friends, Polly and Mono, both reach out to me on her behalf. Of course she's heard from her friends. They said they talked to her about her other relationships and about ours. They said she's really shattered and she wants me to come home, but doesn't want to lose her identity in the process. Her identity? To go suck Chad and Tyrone's you-know-whats? If she loved this guy truly, wanted to be with him, then she would give up that lifestyle. But she doesn't care. Not at all. It says she's really shattered, wants me to come home, blah, blah, blah. She came from a very conservative background, and coming out as LGBT and polyamorous was a big, liberating moment in her life. Well, okay, great. You came out. Well, guess what? Now you can be with one guy. But again, you don't come out as polyamorous. You don't just decide one day that my orientation is to hook up with as many people as possible. Okay, no. You choose that. Orientation-wise, if you are only attracted to the same sex, okay, that's a different ball game. Okay, we can have a different conversation about that, but just, you don't come out that, well, because guess what? Plenty of people, if they can get away with it and had the looks and charisma to do it, would enjoy having relations with a lot of people, or at least they get to a point they would stop doing that, but you all know what I mean. They choose not to out of loyalty and love for who they're with. They said to their knowledge that she hasn't reached out to any of her other partners and doesn't want to until we know what is happening between us. Well, again, let's not forget how disrespectful she is to him in public. How, you all recall, they had an engagement party, one of those dudes showed up, and she was fondling that guy in front of him. So this isn't just about her having her little partners and little flings behind the scenes, which is awful. the outright disrespect she shows him in public in front of their friends and family. She is terrible to be with. My family and friends told me to do what's best for me. They need to be a little more forceful with him. My closest friend told me maybe I should move on. He said 4 days a year isn't worth the torture knowing what she does with others, even if she is a great person. She's not a great person. So my friends never knew she was poly, and they told me to end it once they found out. There you go. You should listen to them. They were angry that I would put myself in a situation like this. They said I was torturing myself for something I should have always known was doomed to fail. Those are the kind of friends you need. They're telling you how it is, what you need to hear, even if you don't want to hear it. But of course, he's probably not listening to them. They all really like her. We had a couple's dinners with some of them at least once a month. I know my first post didn't paint her very well, but she was wonderful, supportive, and loving. Bullshit. I read the first post. You all heard the video. No, she's not supportive and loving. Now, he's going to get into how she was helping him during the pandemic, and obviously he couldn't work, but look at her present actions. We started dating before COVID hit, and I lost my job, and she carried us for months. She didn't have to. It hadn't been 6 months of dating. Some of her friends told her to drop me, but she said no, and then she told them that I'd get back on my feet soon. Well, that's very nice she did that, and probably earlier on, she probably had a little more respect for him because didn't know how weak he was. But also, she's probably looking for a nice guy to settle down with, and for her, it's like, okay, it's worth me paying the bills for 6 months while he's out of work because of the pandemic, because a lot of people were out of work because of the pandemic in the early days. I'll take care of him. I can lock in a potential husband, and I can keep having my playtime. We were quarantined together because she asked me to stay with her because she was lonely. But I know it's because I couldn't afford my rent anymore, and she gave me a place to stay. She did so much for me, more than I deserved. I spent every day since then, I picked myself up trying to pay her back for all she did and does for me. Well, obviously she's picked up on that and is abusing that. I know a lot of people have said some very colorful words in their messages about her to me, but she's none of those things. Smack! See, now he's the point where they're separated, and he's second-guessing himself, and he's starting to look at her in a different light because he's obviously, I guarantee, he doesn't think highly of himself, like he can't get anybody else. And so he's starting to think, maybe she's not so bad. You can see where the abuse has done its damage. A lot of guys go through this. You cannot stay with someone that treats you this way. It's better to be alone than with someone that treats you like this. I don't want to lose someone that wonderful. Smack! She's not wonderful. Right now, I just feel like it's over, and I don't want to do anything except cry, and I'm a mess. Dude, come on. Don't be a bitch. I'm hoping my head clears soon and that I'll know what to do for me. We said we give it a month apart and come back to it, so in a few weeks we'll see where we are. As of right now, I'm considering it over. Then make the official breakup and move on. And let today be the day, the first day of the rest of your life. And move on from her and take it day by day. But you cannot be with someone like this. If he goes back to her, she's going to even be worse to him in the future. Guaranteed. She's not going to be better. She'll treat him worse when she's out in public. And the boring sex that he was getting occasionally will be even less. She'll literally throw a freaking jar of freaking lotion at him in a dirty magazine or give him an address to a website and say, here you go. That's what he's going to get. So that is end of part 2. And he's obviously on the fence about this. And so I hope that everybody says here, tells him what he needs to hear. And they had definitely been doing it in the comments section on Reddit. Now I'll read a few comments to wrap this up. One guy says here, says, mate, she has tortured you enough. Please stop doing this to yourself. You'll feel a lot better when you're done with her. Exactly. It's going to be hard. 3 years with anybody is a long time. But he'll get over it. But he has to work on himself. If he doesn't work on himself, he'll be back in the same situation with someone just like this, guaranteed. Another guy says here, you're still allowing her to manipulate you. No person agrees to marry someone, but yet doesn't feel comfortable enough to open up with them. She is feeding you a load of horse manure. Quite honestly, the reason she wants to marry you is because you allow yourself for her to treat you this way. Yes, he doesn't stand up for himself. Another guy says here, she gets her cake and eat it too with this dude. Get the safety and emotional support, but still gets to F others and be on the wild side. I guarantee she doesn't think he sticks with this. Prove her wrong, OP. Yeah, I guarantee you she's just sitting back waiting for this guy to have a meltdown and miss her and then call her back. And the second he does, she's like, I got this guy. Now I'm going to be having him scrubbing floors and scrubbing the toilet after I take a dump, amongst many other humiliating things. You think she's bad now. Wait till later on if he comes back to her. No. End it. And even if she makes all the promises in the world, okay, I'll stop seeing other dudes, I'll be with just you, I'll try to be adventurous in the bedroom. Second he comes back, boom. And if he marries her, oh God, she's going to be right back. She'll be hooking up with 8 dudes instead of 4 dudes. Needs to end it with her. But anyway, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let this guy know what you think in the comment section. You got to say what you got to say. Just watch your words, because YouTube will flag your comment if you're too nasty, even though he deserves it. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.